sort of set the table in terms of what we have to do every year. So right now our focus is trying to go back-to-back.
Leaping grab by Aaron Burbridge. Spins at the 10. He's at the 5. He's at the goal line. He's into the end zone.
We've gone this far, but there's still ways we have to go. Michigan State's always been about the process, so this was just a stepping stone. It's time to take another step up.
What a year it was. Success, nothing new for Michigan State. The 2015 Big Ten champs reached the college football playoff last season and have had 36 wins over the last 3 years. That's fourth most by any team in FBS over that span. But will this year's Spartans be able to replace major contributors on both sides of the ball? Connor Cook, the school's all-time winningest quarterback, is gone, as are a pair of All-Americans in center Jack Allen and defensive lineman Shalik Calhoun. He's been building Michigan State now for a ninth season. Spartans head coach Mark Dantonio joining me live this morning. And, Coach, I'll get to the football in a minute. But your program dealt with the tragic death of Mike Sadler, who played for you from 2011 to 2014. He was killed in a car accident back on July 23rd, as was punter Sam Foltz. There was a public memorial for Sadler on Sunday at Spartan Stadium. For those of us who never crossed paths with Mike, what kind of person was he?
Well, he was a tremendous person. He was a guy that made everybody around him feel a little bit better about themselves. He was a very kind person, very talented, very confident, tough competitor, and he did so many things for Michigan State on and off the field, and certainly as an academic All-American, he had a tremendous future in front of him. Was set to go to Stanford Law School here later in August, and all of Spartan Nation is mourning this, and we also our hearts also go out to the Nebraska fans and the Foltz family as well. It was a tragic loss for all of us.
Mike's mother, Karen, said something that I found telling. She said, "We had no idea how many lives he's affected." Coach, I wonder, how did he affect your life?
Well, he was an outstanding punter, certainly, but, Mike crossed paths with my wife, my children. Both my children were in college, so they were very close, or they were close as they moved through the process. I saw Mike daily. He was always a guy that you could sit and talk to, and he was a guy that all of our players here sort of become like sons, and in a lot of respect, across the nation they do for all coaches. But Mike was special. He was here in our program for 5 years, and I saw him a couple weeks earlier at a kicking camp and at a summer camp. So he was a guy that you always felt very comfortable talking to and confiding in. And you tended to ask him a lot of questions on how he was feeling, and because he was very reflective in terms of what he thought about our program and where we were going and about us as people. So, again, it's a tragic loss, and we need to move forward. That's what he would want. But number 3 will always be very, very important here at Michigan State, and he will live on in infamy in many different ways. He's quite a sense of humor.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about moving on, and there really is no easy way to pivot towards football. But what can the upcoming football season do for you and your staff and some of your team members after a tragedy happens like this, and where it happened, and now football's right around the corner?
Well, I think we're always going to be defined on how we handle problems or how we handle loss. I think that's natural for us. That's part of the process here. So we'll process everything. We've got a great football team coming back. We lose some great players, but we've got a lot of players back, a nucleus back, I guess I would say, from a football team that went 12-2 last year. So we're looking for great things, and it's going to be a very exciting August for us, and great talented freshman class coming in. So we'll cycle through the next phase here.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about it there. Remarkable season last year, ended with a spot in the college football playoff. You won the Big Ten championship. And you just mentioned a second ago, you're going to be dealt with how you handle with losses. What did you and your program take with you after losing to Alabama in that college football playoff?
Well, things sort of spun out of control a little bit, as everybody knows by now. But I think what we took out of it was you need to be ready at game time. And, that there's a part of every program that you're going to top out or whatever it is. You're going to be measured at the end of the season. And, hey, Alabama went on to win the national championship. And as you said earlier, 36-5. And I think of those 5 losses, I think 3 of them were to either the team that was playing for the national championship in Oregon's case, or Ohio State and Alabama in 14 and 15. So we're up there at the top. We're competing against the very best. We've won 2 Big Ten championships in 3 years outright. So good things are happening here in East Lansing, and those things will continue. So that's where we take it from here. But there's always another step to go.
Sure, and you mentioned the players that are coming back, and of course the departures we had noted a second ago. Challenge number 1, of course, replacing Connor Cook, the winningest quarterback in program history. Where does your quarterback situation stand heading into fall camp?
Well, we want our quarterback situation, I think, to be the pressure to be on all those guys right now. I think we have 4 quality Big Ten type quarterbacks. You start with Tyler O'Connor, who's a 5th-year senior. He's been in the system. He's played very well when he's had the opportunity. And I would say right now he's the leader of the pack. But Damian Terry has had his moments on the field. Brian Lewerke is a very promising redshirt freshman. And then Messiah Weaver is just getting here. But all 4 of those guys are highly recruited guys that can win a championship with. I really do believe that. And every one of those guys are going to have their moments here at Michigan State. So it's up to them to cream to rise to the top there. But we'll anoint that quarterback as we move through the process here. I just want the pressure to be on our entire position group right now rather than on one specific individual. But I think all these guys are very, very capable.
Coach, I'll be the first to admit that this means absolutely nothing, but another year and another media poll that has picked Ohio State to win the conference. Michigan picked up some votes, but not Michigan State. So why do you believe that there's still a perception that your program is a perpetual underdog?
I think most sports writers and predictors probably don't put cleats and helmets on, I would say, and they're not in the trenches and they haven't played against us. So I'll start with that. But what we've done on the field, really, there's nothing really needs to be said. We'll just keep our focus on what we can control. We can't control what people say sometimes, but at the end of the day, the game is played on the field. I think a lot of people deal in the present. Some deal in the future, though. Most people try and deal in the present. That's what we're trying to do. But a lot of people try and make predictions and those type of things. And I don't know. We'll just keep doing what we do. It'll be fine.
The recruiting's been good for you out there at Michigan State, but what are the things that you do perhaps better than anyone in the country? You mix in a number of 2- and 3-star recruits and turn them into stars, like a player like Shalik Calhoun. Is that what you take pride on, of being the foundation of your program?
Really, what we've taken pride on is the lack of attrition in our program. Our seniors have always had their best years, which allows us to be very, very successful throughout the season. They bring on the younger players. Our younger players continue to improve as year to year. I think one of the biggest reasons we've been so successful, we've had very little staff attrition. We've had a lot of continuity on our staff, and that allows us to have the same teachers in the classroom basically on the field, and people improve and get better, and they play themselves. We played very, very well at the end of games. Our culture is such that we understand how to win football games at the end of the game. And we play hard. We'll play hard every single snap, and our players understand that, and that's probably why we've been successful. Some segment of all those things. So I think we're very comfortable in our own skin right now. We know who we are, and we'll keep moving forward.
Hey, Coach, I know you're busy. I really appreciate your time this morning.
All right, guys. Thanks for having us on.